Fashion house Balenciaga is facing backlash over its latest ad campaign featuring children holding teddy bears dressed in bondage gear. The holiday campaign's second ad shows a page from a Supreme Court ruling on child porn, United States v. Williams. We've determined not to air the ad here. Balenciaga removed the ad, but not before it drew the ire of the public. Here are the hosts of ABC's The View weighing in.
What's going on here?
I found this ad campaign particularly distasteful in this moment. So there's growing anti-LGBTQ sentiment right now, and how it's being framed is as portraying, trans people as groomers. This is a term you'll hear on the far right. They're groomers. This is where you get the anti-drag queen stuff that we're seeing. So Balenciaga played right into their hands by having kids in a sexualized manner carrying something that represents, sex acts. I think it was a really bad misstep at a moment where it's just kind of a dangerous time to even give credence to those kind of insane takes.
Yeah, I mean, we can't even show the picture because it's so distasteful. But what's also very distasteful is like Balenciaga lately. I mean, their stuff is just ugly. I mean, the bag that their little girl is holding is ugly. Do you remember when Kim K was dressed in Balenciaga for the Met Gala? Look at that. Oh, she looked like a bat or something. I mean,
I didn't quite like that Kim outfit either. Balenciaga's latest muse, Kim Kardashian, broke her silence on the brand's ads. The mother of four took to Twitter, calling the images disturbing, and said she was left shaken. She further tweeted, quote, "I have been quiet for the past few days, not because I haven't been disgusted and outraged by the recent Balenciaga campaigns, but because I wanted an opportunity to speak to their team to understand for myself how this could have happened." Balenciaga is now suing the production company it hired to produce the ad, particularly for including the Supreme Court papers, which it maintains were not authorized. We've reached out to Balenciaga's parent company, Kering, but have not heard back as of now. And yeah, the Supreme Court ruling, that I think by far is the worst part, because it seems purposeful and is actually about child porn as opposed to the bondage gear and stuff, which is, I think, distasteful mixing of adult things with kid things, but not actually about pornography. The Supreme Court gets rid of whatever you could have said about it. Well, it's a misunderstanding. That's not what they're going for. Oh, we're sorry you took it that way, etc. No, but you clearly were, you knew people would take it that way if you put that there. Right, 100%. Now, people have been very upset with Kim Kardashian. I think that I personally find her statement to be, satisfactory. Balenciaga was probably going to sue whatever production set designer or whatever was involved and distance themselves from this and move on. I kind of agree with Sunny as well about some of the design choices also being a problem with Balenciaga. They're the ones, for people who don't know, that are famous for I don't know. I'm one of those people. Talk to me. What are they famous for? They sell, for instance, like a purse that looks like a giant plastic trash bag that comes in black and white, depending what kind of hefty you like. And the strap is like, like a red tie or whatever, like you would expect on a classic trash bag. But it's made of, I suppose, leather or something more sustainable, and it costs like $5,000 or something. Yeah, this is high fashion stuff. Yeah, they do a lot of like derelict, if you remember from Zoolander, that kind of faux, poor trash. How are we supposed to make the children read if they can't even fit inside the building, Briahna? Exactly. I appreciate that you also remember these 20-year-old movies with me. So yeah, there's a lot of problems. But I think Alyssa was right there also, saying that this does seem to be one of these instances where it exposes a lot of people who have nothing to do with this, but who are the focus of a lot of right-wing attention right now, as being somehow sympathetic to this. Now, I don't think there's anything LGBTQIA about the Balenciaga. I mean, that's just a company that has nothing to do with LGBTQIA people. But people are going to make that leap and say, oh, look, here's the left that welcomes this kind of behavior. And it's a bad look. And I don't know. I wish people wouldn't keep putting LGBTQIA people and the left more broadly in positions where we have to disclaim a bunch of nonsense. Yeah, it sort of is been talked about in the same conversations as the whole, drag queens and children, which that itself is combining a bunch of different things. Yes. Some of which are like, okay, just people in costumes reading to children. If it's not a sexualized costume, it's not. But we have all seen, the videos of, I think, what are more disturbing examples of stripping and tipping going on involving kids that I think this seems to me on that same spectrum.
Yeah, sure. And we've also talked on the show. We've looked at pictures of kids sitting up at Hooters with their fathers, and that would not be my choice either. And we look at Barbie dolls that are stacked and permanently standing on their tippy toes, so they look like sexual objects, and we give these things to kids.
What now?
There's Barbies.
No, I know what they are. But what do you mean they're permanently on their tippy toes?
No, Barbie's toes are like this, so she can always be in high heels and pert the way that women are apparently supposed to be. But I think it's a little bit dishonest to pretend the way that some of the commentary has pretended. Like, there's not a lot of spaces in our society where we sexualize this. We were talking during the break about some of our favorite kind of teen shows and about how the casting decisions in some of these shows like Euphoria make us more comfortable with the explicit sexuality of the kids there. And when there's
the kids playing, the actors are older.
Right. Yeah. Whereas other shows where the kids are more accurately cast, like Stranger Things, they're supposed to be the same ages. And if you imagine the Stranger Kids things doing the things that the Euphoria kids doing, we'd all be horrified to see that on the screen. In fact, there was this great movie with Laura Dern I watched years ago, where with John Ritter's kid, Scott Ritter, where they play it. It's about her childhood relationship with an adult man, and they play it through the first time with probably a 20-year-old cast in the role, the way that they do, maybe an 18-year-old cast in the role. And then as she's excavating her memories, they play it back again with a child, not Laura Dern, it's not important, but with a child actress, like an actual 12-year-old or whatever age she was supposed to be. And as a viewer, it's horrifying because you realize the extent to which you had accepted the child's memory of this as like a romantic, exciting encounter because it was cast as an older child. And when the movie forces you to confront how often we accept these sorts of narratives in media because of the casting decisions that are made. So I don't know. That's a lot of words to say. I think that there's a bigger conversation to be had here about all of the ways in which children are sexualized, especially young girls, I think, especially who mature quickly, are sexualized. And there's a little bit of Pollyanna-ishness about this particular stuffed bear ad that I think belies a bigger, more important conversation that needs to be had.
Well, right. And every time people talk about the fear of kids being exposed to, I guess, provocative or sexual content vis-a-vis something like this or something like, drag queens, it all seems a little silly to me because the complete availability everywhere online of pornography at the touch of a button to anyone of any age at any time. By far the most common way that kids are exposed to sexual theater, it just dwarfs everything. Everything else is, if you think this is a problem, everything else is very insignificant compared to that, frankly.
Yeah.
So it seems weird to focus on it.
Yeah, well.
All right, tomorrow on Rising, the Washington Post's Lauren Gurley will join us, and we'll get new updates on President Biden's push to stop the pending rail strike, so you won't want to miss that.
Yeah, for sure. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss any content. For those of you who prefer to listen while on the go, we are now available anywhere you listen to podcasts.
I was going to do my Blue Steel impression because you brought up Zoolander. Maybe another time.
Give it to us as we roll out. All right, we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.